Yo, how's everybody doing? Tiny bit. How's it going, Rodeo? We're just gonna queue this up. I'm not even gonna talk about it too much. We played in the challenge over the weekend. Got punked by 2 graveyard decks. It was just a graveyard weekend, and I had removed my Leyline of the Voids from my sideboard, which was obviously a mistake. But you never know what's gonna show up. We just, you know, that's how Dredge wins tournaments. In this case, it was Reanimator and Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth, I think Leyline is our best bet, but in general, it's a little tougher than I feel like it used to be, and I don't know what changed. But anyway, we're gonna keep going. You up with this version of the deck? It seems really good. It may be that we're supposed to find room for both Unearth and Aether Vial. If I was gonna do that, these would be the first 3 cuts. Maybe the Ringleader comes out, the second Ringleader. You just take these out for 4 copies of Aether Vial. I don't know how good that deck is. I mean, it's about as good as this one, though, right? Maybe take out 1 Unearth, because it doesn't work with Aether Vial. But this version of the deck seems fine. I don't think that the meta is receptive to Aether Vial value right now. Just with the fairies and turn 3 combos and aggressive decks and things like that. At its weakest. Playing the Black-Green Crusher bot. Play first. Hand is pretty bad. Against Nothing Revealed, though, we do have, like, the fake Splinter Twin of Mogwar Martial Munitions Expert. We can search for a piece of our combo, so we can just, like, kind of take a slower game. Not a fantastic hand. This is a hand I probably shouldn't keep, but I'm going to. There's that. If it turns out we're about to get Troned, well, so be it. But we have a good hand against many matchups, black, white, included, I believe. I won't say we're lucking out there. Our keep may be justified. I kind of want to play that Hierarch, but I think next turn playing Expert plus Hierarch is probably better. So this may be Smallpox. which case, nope. Green white. First flats into Temple Guard. Don't know what this is. Okay, they have nothing. I'm not gonna pay Echo. We're gonna play Hierarch and we'll get the same amount of damage. Really don't know what they're doing. It could be Heliod. Gonna play Ignoble. Hit them for 2, hopefully. See what they do here. I'm imagining this is Heliod combo, but I don't really know what green-white do-nothing is. Raise the alarm. It could have blocked my 1/1 token. If we see something that they're going to get a payoff with these tokens, obviously I'm going to expert it, but this seems like a deck that we should kind of crush. Fine. They prismatic ending my mana dork. I think I would trade if they were to attack. Not going to. I won't have 5 mana, so I can't cast this Munitions Expert, but we're still gonna save it. Can't imagine they have too much in the way of removal over there, given how they've played the first couple turns. Too much more, I mean. My Blood Crypt tapped. My other option this turn was to play Ringleader and swing in, but what is this, like a Battle Screech deck? Are they gonna Crusade me? I'm missing something that's like really obvious. Yeah, Intangible Virtue, I expected. So they got a bunch of 2/2s. We'll kill 1 or 2 of them next turn. Not even gonna block, just take 8. We can block if it comes to that. Not sure where we're gonna be at. Okay, so there's just like 8 Raise the Alarms and Intangible Virtue. Interesting. Had we played out our game plan a bit faster, we wouldn't be under basically any pressure at all. Okay, so this being the case, with this on top, I can play this right now, put Kiki Jiki on top, upkeep, I can combo them. Or I can just wait. I think I just wait. Munitions Expert. Extra card doesn't matter. Maybe they don't understand this combo if they're playing green-white nonsense. So, I mean, they're probably dead one way or another. But maybe not. Maybe they have their, Skyclave Apparition. They played the deck yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Did they play Skyclave Apparition? Need to know. I would imagine the best version of the deck plays it. People aren't often playing the best versions of these types of decks. Just have to survive. We've already laid out what a win for us looks like. Sort of half expected a Dictate of Heliod there, or the Intangible Virtue, not intangible. There's a flash Force of, is it Force of Virtue? They're looking for the answer. Can they find the prismatic ending? Doesn't look like it. Although this could be Skyclave. They draw the Skyclave. They did, we're probably dead. No, they didn't. So they're dead. Bunch of 3/3s. And your bunch of 3/3s beat an army of slung-ganged goblins. The answer, no. I guess they could Solitude here. This is like new modern, right? Solitude just wrecks us. Being said, no Solitude. I believe this just wrecks them. On 0, they're dead. Masked Vandal seems good. Wrist is like meh. Unearth is decent. Buy us time. What are the bad cards here? Really aren't any. But I guess that's just because I'm like comparing to their good cards. They might bring in an artifact, so I'm gonna leave in the Crater Maker. I guess the Grists are a little bit meh. Like, they're just 1-for-1s more or less. Dig us towards combo. Maybe like Munitions Expert can come out. Og War Marshal can come out. Because they're going to have 2/2s. You're not really favorably blocking. Although it's more likely that Unearth is bad because they're just not going to put your stuff in the graveyard. Like, not the game plan you want to be on. So we'll leave the 1 in, and on the off chance that we get to block with something. So we're not really mulliganing for combo, but we are looking to combo them. I expect that to be the case, and this is a good hand for it. One of the good things about this hand is not only do you have the Matron to find a copy of, but actually just go for the combo if they have instant speed stuff, and then go for it again. Second Harbinger not completely used. We're gonna play Stomping Ground tapped unless it was for an Ignoble Hierarch draw maybe. But no dice. Reveal Snoop to Auntie's Hovel, and then when they Prismatic Ending that. Here's a Raise the Alarm in case you didn't know what that looked like. This is what it looks like, apparently. EKG in hand. Not the best draw, but it is what it is. Hierarch on top. They didn't have a Raise the Alarm? That's shocking. Like, that I did not expect. So, here they know about this Ignoble. But we're going to be able to play that Ignoble profitably if we don't draw land anyway. After we search for Snoop here. The thing about these green-white decks is I believe they're playing the 4 Prismatic Endings as like most of their removal, I guess. Could be a Path here though. Path doesn't really even hurt us. It will ramp us. Snoop uncounterable. I'm gonna play a second Snoop uncounterable. Then next turn, without 2 removal spells, they're gonna have a hard time. And yeah, I will attack there. I was just about to F6 through my turn, but got a feeling that this is gonna do just. You can have another plant, sure. Tangible Virtue, Intangible Virtue. Prismatic ending 1, Snoop. You got the other one? Skyclave? Wow, just all 3 prismatic endings. We have 1 more Snoop in the deck. Which we can get. I was saying that I think they only play 4 prismatic endings, and they've drawn 3 of them. So let's see if they've got the last one. Obviously, we could have killed Nissa at any point. The munitions expert, but hasn't seemed good. Can you guys hear when I click? I never looked. Yeah, you can. Sound good at least? They're cherry reds. For those wondering. They're probably about 8 years old. Yes. I think I got them. I think I got it about 8 years ago. Time flies. I don't really know. All right, you got a bunch of big old tutus. 0 cards in hand. At this point, they have to top deck the removal, which, you know, they still could do. I top deck that Snoop. How I force them to have 2. Play the Copperline Gorge. Play the Snoop. Probably they doing F6, right? Get the Snoop. Ringleader on top. What would I like to be on top that isn't ring? Take a ring. All right, so here's what we do. We'll attack Nissa for 2. See if they defend it. If they don't, we're just gonna kill one of the tutus with the expert. We're trading for either way here. Okay, so now we're just gonna kill that Nissa off. Just because they have no cards in hand. The only thing that promises to get them anywhere close to back in the game. And we have him dead next turn. They must imagine that we have them dead this turn, but I don't know if they know. So they hold whatever it is they drew. And this is our last copy of Snoop, but you know what? Even if they do kill this Snoop in response, like during this combo, with our board state, we can still win any other way we want. How? What is this? Tap, tap, concede. Well done. All right, well, Black-Green Crusher Bot falls quickly to the Snoop combo. So, is this how people get trophies? Did they just play against Green White Raise the Alarm over and over? I guess if you roll the dice often enough, eventually you'll Green White Raise the Alarm. The Pen Sword. Is it the Pen's Word or the Pen Sword? I'm sure that's what they want me to ask. I expected Spike to be up at the top. Just because he was doing well in the challenges, I expected him to have been doing well in leagues as well. Not because he's going for the trophy leader again, just because he's a good player and he plays a lot for his job. Dan's a player. Wonder if he's there at all. I'm sure he'll be back soon. So, Innistrad just released. Played a draft on Arena. Well, our game is up. Seems okay. It seems like there's some complicated stuff, but I wasn't really enjoying it. I think it's just that I hate drafting on Arena. Like, even drafting on here is way different. But on Arena, it's like... it's just way different. I don't know what it is. It feels different. But so... Innistrad released, and there's a couple new cards that people are playing. So you don't have your head buried in the sand. Oh boy, do I wish I remember what the name was. It's a blue-white Faithless Looting. Costs 2 mana. How do I set? What? Why is it not at the top of this list? Maybe because I don't own any of the cards. That's why. I didn't change the quantity to 0 yet. Anyway. So ban good. I was doing a double take there because this hand is really keepable, but all our lands look black-red, but this will grab us a Stomping Ground. Unearthed should give haste, just like Anecdote. That card wouldn't be unbalanced at all. You could just unearth Agavan and whatever else you want. Stomping Ground, dock it in, play Noble, pass the turn. So this next turn we won't be able to do anything very cool. Ooh, we're getting griefed. Well, Unearth is going to be good with grief. This is Living End. Living End is sort of an annoying deck to play against. I don't know what they should take here. I believe it's Matron, but actually if they take Matron, I just unearth it, so they probably shouldn't take that. They take Unearth, which also good. Now they can't Living End next turn. However, if it is Living End, what I want to do, I want to use Matron, and I'm going to grab my Skirk Prospector. I believe this is Matron and not Esper Reanimator, or when I say Matron, I believe this is Living End and not Esper Reanimator, which is why I'm doing this. Making the read. So next turn we'll play Skirk and Snoop. And even if they Living End, we'll have all of our creatures back in play. And there you go. There's Curator of Mists. Living End confirmed. And this is why we have a good matchup versus Living End. And you see right there how powerful Noble Hierarch is. I talk about all the time how I want a powerful turn 3 play or turn 2 play with Hierarch, so that usually means a 3 mana play. And Matron often isn't that, because look, it just left a 1/1 in play, and usually you don't really know your opponent's deck by turn 2. Or if you do know their deck, there isn't just a card like this that turns the game on its head. But against Living End, we happen to be lucky enough that is the case. So we don't want to get Mana Leak, that they only have colorless mana open over there anyway. So we can hit them for 2. Can actually get another Snoop into play, which I think is relevant. Because if we get another Snoop into play, that turns off their like lines that involve just bouncing our Snoop to stay alive with Brazen Borrower. So they don't have the living end yet. I'm gonna hit him for a bunch next turn. Oh, there it is. There's the thing. They must just be... Oh, wow. They couldn't cast this even if they wanted to. They're on a 2-lander. I respect, you know. Well, there it is. We had it the whole time. We had it the whole time. Love drawing it off the top. This feels good. But we didn't get lucky. Say that. We were gonna win that game. I was thinking which one I wanted to target because having the wrong target makes these tokens not stack. So, for those of you who haven't seen the combo, you must not have watched the first game in this video. But it's fairly simple from here. We're gonna have 18 or more copies of Conspicuous Snoop, all tapped. That doesn't matter. Takes 2 clicks on Magic Online. You turn off auto yield. You click Conspicuous Snoop once. Wasn't paying attention, so it doesn't know what happened. You click it again, and we'll activate its ability. We make a copy of Boggart Harbinger. We kill him. And thankfully, this is one of the faster infinite combos on Magic Online. It is technically infinite, but on Magic Online you never can do that. So thankfully, one doesn't take so long. I guess you want Chalice here. You definitely want Leyline of the Void. Blood Moon is actually good against them now, although you don't need it. It's 9 cards we're bringing in. Don't want to fight them on the Grist axis. Unearth, they're not going to be killing your stuff. If they kill your stuff, that's fine. War Marshal gets into the graveyard, but not a big deal. Pashlik is how some games go. Good. Yeah, we'll take out a Munitions Expert and a Ringleader. Leave it like this. Maximizing our turn 1 Blood Moons. Mulling for Leyline of the Void. Although a turn 1 Blood Moon would be okay as... Our turn 2 Blood Moon, excuse me, would be okay. Not great. With 4 Leylines, though, you definitely don't need the Blood Moons. And this Skirk Prospector is just enough. I don't think we need to mulligan this. Because the Skirk Prospector means that all of our things come back into play when they cast Living End. And for them to win the game without casting Living End is going to be very difficult for them. They may just have a Lightning Bolt here, though. And my keep is a lot worse. Although, if they don't have a Lightning Bolt here... Am I just supposed to cast this on 0? Yeah, let's just cast this on. They're going to have a lot to deal with. We have combos, we have ways to stop them. Like, even if they kill this Skirk Prospector, we do have a Sling Gang Lieutenant to put into play before they Living End. So we should be fine. This is a really good matchup for us. I punted the hell out of it in my last 4-0 league, and I really regret it. But you know what? We're here. We're back. Doing our thing. They tap 2 blue mana to cycle Architects of Will. Architects of Will... Oh, okay. Architects of Will, when it actually enters the battlefield, I believe it's bugged, and I get to reorder cards on top of my library. Obviously not what they would like. So what we need here is a 3rd land and or a Boggart Harbinger. 2nd Skirk is not actually bad. I think I'm gonna get Stomping Ground. 1 second, I have to take a call. Hello?
The ships home from the sea, thinking, well, how it may blow in all good company. If I tell another.
All right, we're back. Yeah, I think we just keep passing, like not. Their quote unquote best hands are gonna cascade on this turn, right? They choose. Well, obviously they can't cascade till they take away my Chalice of the Void, and here's part 1 of that plan. We're gonna have the third mana for our matron one way or the other now. Put it right into play. I don't think there was a way, was there? I didn't even check. Had I cast 1, 2, stacked this, oh, then I would only have, yeah. There's no way for me to get the actual Harbinger into play this turn, but getting it into my hand isn't good enough. We'll attack for 2, or for 3, excuse me. I think I'm just gonna play the second Skirk Prospector, so they can't do anything fancy before cascading. They have to get even fancier. They want to stop us. And yeah, so at this point, if they cast Living End, not good for them. It's not very good for them at all without them destroying my graveyard. So they could do the instant speed Living End. We'll see. You have red-green, but tapping some mana here. If they target, I don't know, anything with anything, I'm probably just sacking it. That's the held action. A Grief. Okay. So Grief just puts it into the graveyard. Fine. So they can't really stop us here. And they know I have the Harbinger, but if they ever cast Living End, we get Matron back and Harbinger. So it's like not... Maybe they take the Sling Gang? I'm going to cast Sling Gang next turn. Barring something wild here. They take Harbinger. What they could have in their hand is a Brazen Borrower. But again, that's not that big a deal. And resolving a Sling Gang is most likely game ending because we get to sacrifice our whole board, then do it again. Well, I mean, that's a thing. So, I have infinite mana. They can respond to this Sling Gang, and will need to. But nothing changes. We don't have haste. That'll change. Okay. They just let it go. We will gladly let them black hole 3 mana. How's it going, Mystical Pot? Or a goblin? We're all goblins. Badge there. GlitchCon 2020. I mean, they're just dead, right? They have no outs. A board wipe probably kills them. I mean, I'm going to start going for it here. Forces them to make a move, but I'm forced to make a move because I'm going to be drawing this. So, my last opportunity to do it one way or another. They cascade. They actually put the living end on the stack. So once they put it on the stack, and that's the important part, stack your whole board. Gonna get it all back. Even gonna have not haste, but we won't have summoning sickness because it's about to be our turn. They could, I guess, surgical extraction me. That would be something they could do. There's about 1,000 triggered abilities going on the stack here. Apparently, it's not my turn to stack them. It was active player, non-active player, and it is not my turn. So they're just dead on board, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As soon as Sling Gang resolves. So now, I'm supposed to stack this one and this one. So we search with Matron. Just get, doesn't actually matter. Why not just get another Sling Gang? Put Kiki Jiki on top of our library, why not? This resolves. They're dead. They have no ways to gain life. They've, if this ends up killing me, I'll be shocked, but yeah. They have no ways to gain. Feeling good about this win. You almost have the whole deck. Sorry, I've been dealing with this monstrous stack. What are you missing? I remember I don't even know if I have the whole deck. I ordered Grists recently. They're coming in the mail. I definitely don't have Grists in paper yet. Just got Auntie's Hovels recently. Dark in here. Dark. Put on the thing above my, I still have Aether Vials in my paper version. Oh, and I don't have Unearths either. I ordered those, but they're like 80 cents. I have my... For whatever reason, I decided that all of the green cards in the deck, I was going to, that feedback, nice. I decided that all of the green cards in the deck, especially, they all happen to be from MH2. So they're all getting the, that sketch treatment. So I have the sketch Grists, the sketch Nobles. And if I ever put the Abundant Harvests in, there'll be the sketch Harvests too. They're not actually even cheaper or more expensive. They're like pretty much the same exact price as regular ones. We're keeping this. This is, I won't say the combo, but this is the joke. The Noble Hierarch Grist joke that we go for all the time. So, Stomping Ground, shock it. Noble, play it. Put them in. Get them all going. Realize I was you. When people have the same names in chat, or not the same, have the same colored names in chat, I just assume they're all the same person. Or at least close enough that little colorblind me thought it was. Prismatic ending. So we're just gonna play the second hierarch. And then Blood Crypt. I don't think there's a reason to get War Marshal into play here. Our plan is to play this Grist. And I'm assuming this is blue-white control, but it could be Esper Reanimator and they just let on Hallowed Fountain. See. Gabri Lily 91. Gabriel. They don't seem to know what they're doing. Hanking hard on that second land. No covered island. That implies blue-white control, right? Which means now that they've implied blue-white control, let's just play Bloodstained Mire and see if we can get War Marshal into play. We will play Echo. Hey, Echo. Comes to that. Counterspell, yep. Why we didn't cast Grist. And we'll just hit him for 1. Them for 1. No more Shocklands in the deck to grab. So it doesn't really matter when we fetch with this, other than for thinning purposes. So I guess I'm supposed to fetch it beforehand because I don't really want to draw Basic Mountain, do I? This feels as if they have another counterspell here. A thin. Have a basic. Okay, Cavern is good. Cavern unfortunately needs to name Goblin, doesn't it? Like we could Cavern on Grist here, but Grist is not gonna win the game against control. So they could have another counterspell. It would have to be actual factual counterspell because they're not playing Mana Leak. This Grist is never going to dodge counterspell. So we're going to play Grist. I don't think it's going to resolve. But because the Grist is never going to beat a counterspell anyway, we're really just losing tempo. Alright, so Grist makes it. We play Blood Crypt tapped, so they don't know about our Cavern of Souls yet. And pass the turn. How's it going, Bob? See you. I agree. I would always like to have the Grist in play. The question is whether it will actually get into play. That's what I was looking at. No more counter spells from it. No more the actual. Oh, now this is looking like Archmage's Charm Teferi. It's gonna be Teferi bounce my token. Because your Teferi dies. Alright, so we're just gonna plus Grist again and probably just bop this Teferi. There's really nothing to do the Munitions Expert anyway. A Hierarch. Let's just plus. Unearth into the graveyard. Cavern of Souls out, naming Goblin. Can't play this Munitions Expert at any other time. I could save the Hierarch in case they have like Supreme Verdict. Honestly, if they have Supreme Verdict, losing one card versus. And what does this help us with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 6 mana is actually a lot. It helps you if you call like Ringleader or something like that. This matchup is the reason I don't want to remove all the ringleaders from the deck. I know some people are going that direction. But these control decks, this is Ant too. So maybe they're on like Toski or something. Which, if they're on a Toski type build, this Grist, while it doesn't kill Toski specifically, probably making their day a lot harder. Misty. It's gonna be 5 mana Teferi? I wonder, like, what... Like, cracking that fetch immediately applies a 5 mana. But it also, I guess, maybe it's just like one of their idiosyncrasies. Okay. They're gonna bounce my Grist. This can only block flying creatures. Nothing worth unearthing until this Grist gets to the graveyard, right? So, oh, I can't actually cast it like that. So, red, black, green. Try and cast this Grist. We'll unearth it if this doesn't work out, right? Our highest value play. And that's fine. One of the reasons Unearth is so good. Cast Earth targeting Grist. We have our planes. Plus it. Matron in the yard. We attack for 2 either way. So attack with Munitions Expert. I guess I'm probably supposed to attack with the insect. It doesn't really matter. If they need to bounce something and the target the expert, that's never. So yeah, I don't. We're empty-handed, so not playing around any of our own stuff. But yeah, bouncing is the only permanent. Turn up to 1 target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Not a creature. There you go. This is still coming in. Can only block creatures with flying, but it's gonna attack our Grist down pretty good. Let's see what's on top. We have 2 cards in hand. Hey, you know what I don't want on top of my library? It's a decent one. I'm gonna play it before anything else. If they counter this, it's a free spell from the top of our deck. It means they're not casting this turn. So we're doing all right, I would say. Well, all right, they conceded. How much damage was it? 1. And we would have attacked Teferi here. They would be at 11. 1, 2, 5, 6. And theoretically, goblins. But anyway, close that one out. I mean, I think Blood Moon is decent against these decks. Not great. They do play enough basics, but it still can keep them from casting multiple counter spells, and what it comes down to. Even if they end up with 4 basic islands, like Archmage's Charm plus counterspell is not a thing they can. We need all our ringleaders. Grist is like a little bit worse. Munitions Expert doesn't do too much. They're gonna bring in like weird stuff like Torpor Orb. I don't know if this Tarfire is really necessary. I like it because it like kills Teferis and things like that, but it's probably just better to have Munitions Expert than Tarfire. And you know what? You don't mull to the Blood Moon, so having 3 is probably too many. But, you know what? No, I do want it. I was going to say this Munitions Expert might just be better because it attacks, but I don't actually think. We're going to go like this. The game plan against control decks is just resolve things that have power and toughness and continue to attack. So here, big part of resolving things is making sure they don't get countered. So I think I may just keep this hand. Cavern of Souls is a big deal. Like I said, you don't have to mull to the Blood Moon or anything like that. They can't counter anything on turn 1. And so, just gonna pass. We'll play the Cavern next turn, probably. Just play our Crater Maker out. Harbinger. Okay. That's aggressive. Gut shot in Bant something or other. That's okay. And they know what they want. Say that, and they're willing to go get it. What they want is gut shot. Let's go for it. Fuck it. This looks like a counterspell if I ever saw one, and they just wasted their gut shot. Although they wouldn't ever, right? They wouldn't ever just waste that gut shot if they didn't have something to follow it up with. Play this out. We don't need to come. I assume they thought they were going to counterspell us, but right. Would you like to kill my tutu? You can't counter anything anymore. No? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I thought, you know, even though you can't counter the spells, you can cast counterspell targeting them. Which, that an interesting form of uncounterable that I don't think they've given spells yet. We're probably just gonna cast this Matron, is my guess. They may have what's the word that I'm looking for? Supreme Verdict? We're just gonna make it not very profitable. Spell Queller, I see. Fine, believe it or not. At this point, if they cast Supreme Verdict, but this Bant sword of some kind. They're playing Spell Queller. They just had like a really control-y draw last game. Nothing else.
It looks like we've got a minor technical difficulty.
Here. I think I just put this in the way. Could it be another Spell Queller? Could be. See what's on top. Show me anything. It's another Spell Queller, it looks like. Yeah. Okay. Spell Queller is one of the things that actually could, like, you know, tempo us out, kill us. We didn't keep in a lot of ways to kill things, which maybe is what they're leveraging here. All that considered, got 1-for-1s basically. It's a 2-for-1 because they have a creep. But with Kiki Jiki, we can actually kill these Spell Quellers. What we can do is we can end step make copies of Crater Maker, and then make another copy. Pop them both at a Spell Queller. So we'll probably, that's what we'll probably end up doing. Spells that come off of Spell Queller, creature spells, should have haste, as if they were suspended. That's my second hot take of the day. This one I'm confident is correct. Okay, so that sucks, especially because said that what we wanted to do. We're just gonna sacrifice it so that we can unearth it. Luckily, there's a target. Actually, there's always a target. It can target itself, but yeah, we don't want to draw unearth and be unable to play that. At this point, playing Kiki Jiki is probably not the best. There's unearth. Well, because we just drew that, maybe playing Kiki Jiki is the best. Because it costs the most mana? Yeah, I think so. I think I'm just gonna hit him for 2 with Jeekster. And then next turn, I mean, can't prismatic ending this one. So this will probably be safe. We'll end up just taking 4 in the air. And Unearth Crater Maker, go to end step, make a copy. We'll go to their end step, copy. So we'll probably Unearth Crater Maker and Harbinger. And play Harbinger, if nothing else changes. So there's all of the basics that you could ever want. Which maybe is why their hand has played out as slowly as it has, but I don't know. They're probably sitting over there going, what the hell do I do about this? Do I really care about the 2/2? All my creatures are 2/3. I should cast Supreme Verdict. Oh. If they cast Supreme Verdict, they're dead. Just by the way. So I have to hope that that's their last removal spell. We'll see what it actually is. But Prismatic Ending, don't do it. Gut Shot, don't do it. Gut Shot, turn 1. That was a wild turn of events. I didn't expect that. Apparently they are just as confused by the board state as we all are. Not often that you just play a naked Kiki Jiki and it feels like the correct thing to do. I mean, very rarely is a 5-mana 2/2 haste worth it. And if they were to deal with this, if they were in any other colors, you'd be like, yeah, because it's dying. Okay. Alice on 2. Seems they've consulted the deck list and they said, you know what? Only thing that kills me are Munitions Expert. We're going to keep them from playing those. Normally they would be right. But if I get a Munitions Expert out, I can actually kill both of their things. Didn't happen to draw Munitions. So we're going to do what I said first. Do I need extra mana? Maybe just in case. Although, if I just get this Snoop and it survives, then next turn I get to... Yeah, but let's be greedy. I think I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to fetch now so I don't mess up. That's really the only... Like, honestly, that is the entirety of it. So we're going to... cast Blue Boggart Harbinger. Assert some dominance. Do we put Munitions Expert on top? Actually destroy that Chalice as well. Like, interesting. I guess Pashalik Mons is the thing to get. Because, like, we can actually cast it. Have it do stuff. So... cast this Unearth, targeting Crater Maker. We're not going to make a copy of it until our own end step. Or not our own end step, excuse me, until their end step. So, unless they like Prismatic Ending, then I will make a copy of it. Because another copy of Harbinger doesn't do shit for us. But we should be in a good spot here. They untap with 5 mana. I'm assuming they have more basics than this to get. That would be something. Be playing 2 Prismatic Vistas, 3 basics. We'll see. Chalice on 2, very interesting. Very interesting. It hurts our deck more than you'd think. But obviously we can still play around that. Either with Unearth in this version or with Vial from other versions. Vial the classic way. I assume they're going to pop our Kiki Jiki here. which would be something. And when I say pop, I mean bounce. Wow, they just... Okay. I'll take 2. What exactly are you doing? Just pass the turn, don't activate Teferi? What? Do I get to cast it again? Is that the joke? Oh, and I can't cast it because of... Yeah, Spellcaller Teferi, that's the joke, right? And this doesn't actually damage it. Deals 2 damage to target creature, target non-land permanent. Okay, so they have successfully prevented me from getting back my Conspicuous Snoop in more than one way. Okay. Can't cast it. So it stays exiled. End of turn. Raider Maker copy is coming out. Oh, they have another spell queller that they... Because they, I mean, obviously it's not another one, but is what it is. So we make a copy of this. We'll cast... Oh wait, if I cast this, they just spell queller it, and then that happens. I can then not. Okay. So we're just gonna make a copy of Crater Maker. We're gonna attack their Teferi with both Crater Makers, not the real one, and then we get to, well, I guess this is the only way to definitely kill the Teferi, and you have to sack our Boggart Harbinger to do it, but that's fine. So they can flash in this Spell Queller for no value to block, but what we would do is just kill the Chalice of the Void if they were to do that. I imagine they're just not going to do that. You know I have a 3-drop in my hand. Although, I mean, 4 damage in the air is 4 damage. They're pretty dead if I resolve Ashlik GG. Raider Maker. I mean, if they were to block everything here, whatever gets through, obviously, I'm letting it happen. Then both of these are going to die at end step. So can just kill Spell Queller. See if they want to prevent me with the second Spell Queller. Don't. Wonder why. And Spell Queller says 4 or less, right? But I'm still gonna grab Sling Gang Lieutenant. I mean, it's just value to kill this. They're definitely gonna Spell Quell my thing, though, right? So, like, am I supposed to play Pashlik Mons? I think so. But it's... Yeah, I think I'm... Well, it's either one I can play. Mana value 4 or less, yeah. I think this is... I mean, alright, we have to cast Sling Gang, and I'm about to tell you why. So the reason you cast Sling Gang in this situation is because if you get Pashlik Mons into play without them spell quelling you, you just sack one Crater Maker and it lightning bolt something. So this is fine. We completely expected this. We don't know what else they have in their hand. Just needed to make them... Oh, well, we wanted to use our thing, and next turn the copies are gonna kill this anyway, so this allows us to set up that little value engine. They concede to that little value engine. 3-0, the little value engine that 3-0 on the day. We played green white, raise the alarms, banned bullshit, and what was it? What was the second match? I don't even. They were all pretty easy ones, but none of them meta decks. I clicked the yes on the replay. I just want to see what this was. Dang good. Oh, Living End. Yeah, Living End is a quote-unquote real deck. People play that deck. It's a good matchup for us. Explain why Grist. Okay. I mentioned it earlier, but it's definitely worth repeating because it is not normal. And when I first saw somebody playing Grist, I was like, what are you doing? That's not a goblin. So, I almost want to cancel this queue to properly. It's not going to take that long. I just don't want to have it pop and then forget. So, Grist. Let's not start from Grist. About a month ago, 2 months ago, Canister started playing an Elementals deck. Now, the Elementals deck had already existed, but there was a ton of new Elemental cards that came with Modern Horizons 2. And he wanted to play with them. And there was a deck, and he was playing it, and as he tuned it, all of the Elementals synergies and things like that dropped out. And they got replaced by things like Teferi and Ren and 6 and things like that. And there was still an Elementals package in there, but for example, they only played the one Flamekin Harbinger now, which is their version of Boggart Harbinger. They only played one of them. They still played their 4 Risen Reefs, which was their value engine, to go with their Furies and Solitudes that they're evoking in and ephemerating. But all of the nonsense, all of the elemental nonsense, like what's the name of that card? Unsettled Mariner, Voice of Resurgence, things that are only good with other elementals and are only good because they say elemental on them. He started removing them, and he moved towards a build that was more full of cards that stood on their own, right? They don't need synergy. Now, they also, as part of that process, they removed Aether Vial, just by the way, as a secret. So when we got our MH2 cards, we said, well, obviously, Noble Hierarch is great. It's an on-tribe mana dork. And we're mana hungry. We play Ringleaders. We play Aether Vial to make more mana because we want to be able to matron into this, into that, and combo our cards off and chain them together and play lots of things off the top with Snoop, right? So Noble Hierarch is great. But as I play the deck, maybe I can show. Can't do it from here. But as I play the deck, I would find hands where you would have Hierarch in them, and there's no payoff. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to invent a hand on the spot. This one, for example. You have this Ignoble Hierarch, play it on turn 1. On turn 2, you have 3 mana and nothing to do with it. On turn 2, it's much more simple than being able to unearth it. Like, that's value, that's true, but we added that at a different point. So on turn 2, when your Ignoble Hierarch survives, you have nothing exciting to do with the extra mana. Unless you have Thoughtseize in here, but then you have like a 5 or 6 card combo. Like, that's what you're, like, Hierarch, land, Snoop, Harbinger, Thoughtseize is 6 cards, your opener. And it's like, that's not standing on its own. Thoughtseize is actually only good when you have the combo to follow it up with. So I wanted a card that stood on its own, basically. Like, It was... Is there a third Grist in this deck? What's on here? Okay, I don't know where it was. So I wanted a card that stood on its own, that was good to have with Ignoble Hierarch. So more reasons to keep hands with Ignoble Hierarch in them. And Grist is a powerful card in our colors that stands on its own, threatens to take over the game by making 1/1s that attack, also sacrifices things to destroy creatures that were large enough that we had a hard time killing them with Munitions Expert anyway. Its ultimate can sometimes close out games, but that's not really where you're at. It's also decent against Mill, but that's, again, not why we're playing it. We wanted something that was really good to play on turn 3. There may be better cards out there to play on turn 3. I've toyed around with making Blood Moon part of it, like figuring out a way to get this mana base so that you can play Blood Moon in the main. But I think Grist is just better against the mid-range matchups than Blood Moon is in general. And Blood Moon is obviously a good sideboard card. So that is why we're playing Grist. We wanted something to play on turn 2 with an Ignoble Hierarch that was actually worth doing. Because so many of our other plays, like Hierarch into Goblin Matron, they don't actually do anything. Like, oh, you made a 1/1 and you get to search for the best card in your deck, but you actually don't know what the best card in your deck in the situation is on turn 2 a lot of the times. Like, you have a Conspicuous Snoop in your hand, but do you need a second one? Maybe you don't have a Conspicuous Snoop, but this isn't a matchup where you want a combo because it's just not likely. So all that is like in play. As we move forward with the deck, it's possible, and I've looked at this, I haven't found something that I like, that these matrons and these ringleaders come out of the deck. And that would be the case for this Munitions Expert as well, for all of them. And instead of them, we play Imperial Recruiter so that you can actually search for Grist. And you can still search for all these same goblins that you had. Still search for every single piece of your combo. You can search for Crater Makers. You can search for Masked Vandals. But it would allow you to play things that aren't goblins that maybe stand on their own better than Munitions Expert does. Of course, dude. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Like, I really do. Yeah, the Imperial Recruiter version, it needs a removal spell that's better than Munitions Expert, and we have Flame Tongue Yearling. But I'm not sure that Flame Tongue Yearling is actually better. This hand is really bad. They haven't revealed anything, which usually implies Tron to me, but if it's all the nonsense we've played against already, this hand would be fine. But this hand is pretty bad. I mean, this is like a bit of a combo. Pashlik Mons, Lingang Lieutenant. And we do have the extra. We're on the play. This is so bad against so many decks. Like, if they're a combo deck at all, we just die on the spot pretty much. Although Munitions Expert deals with Hammer's combo, like, for a turn or two. Really bad. But is it worse than a 6-card hand? Because, like, you draw a land, it lets you play Sling-Gang Lieutenant, but if Pashlik Mons doesn't survive, what's the point? You can unearth Pashlik Mons. Alright, we're gonna try it. Pashlik Mons is a really strong magic card. The problem is, it doesn't often survive. So, like, it's a precarious position you put yourself in. It's Mill? Here Visions. It looks like it's gonna be that Phoenix deck. That Spike has been. So, that being the case, wow, what an awful draw. That being the case, I'm gonna play this out. Do Demi-Liches have 2 toughness? What do they do? There's got to be bolts and unholy heats over there, I think. Or they may just be on, like, Oh, it was prismatic endings they were on? I think this munitions expert is too good to waste against them. We're just gonna play Pashlik Mons out. They may not be. Yeah, it is a 4th, right? They may not be on that Phoenix deck, but it sure looks like it. Serum Visions is not a card people have been playing. And if they, what are they gonna do? Yeah, so this is Phoenix, as confirmed. It's always crazy that you can like just tell what deck people are on after one land and one spell. But there it is, Demilich Arclight Phoenix. Obviously we're gonna bring in all the Leyline of the Voids. I don't think you bring in Chalice. I guess Chalice on 1 kind of just completely hoses them, so we'll probably bring in Take out on Earth. I think we're gonna get hit for a couple damage here. The Sling Gang Lieutenant's hopefully going to bring the race just barely into our favor. That's like kind of the goal. We'll see. That's 2 spells they've cast, right? Salvaging Manamorphose. Banking on this 3rd one. I think it's just because they're painfully aware that they could have made white mana with Manamorphose, and now to cast their fake Faithless thing, they're gonna have to tap out. But see, okay, they choose to go for Serum Vision. So Demilich, you cast from your graveyard by exiling 4 instant or sorceries. So if they just exile Serum Visions, Manamorphose, Faithless Salvaging, and other Serum Visions, they can have the Demilich, and now they have 2 Arclight Phoenixes as well. We'll be able to kill the I wonder which one I would even kill. I guess you kill the Demilich, don't you? Because it's just harder to kill the Demilich than the others. But take 6, sure. Kirk, not the worst. But I think that this is more important. So we're gonna kill Demilich. And we're gonna attack for 2. Can't block. Well, I guess it's 3, isn't it? So they're at 11. Do we have them dead on board? We play Sling Gang Lieutenant. That makes 2 more goblins, and every goblin does 2 except the last one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so we do have them dead. As long as we survive this turn and they don't gain any life, they are dead on board. Well, not on board, but dead to our hand. Their Faithless Looting does gain life, though. It gains 2 life, which is a big deal. But we have them dead without attacking. So that's if they leave all their blockers back. But if we get to attack, they are overly dead. All right, so that puts us 2 damage off. But Skirk Prospector actually might fix that. I haven't done the math. Oh, we actually don't have the mana to cast Sling Thing anymore. I guess we still tech. And in fact, we might. Because if we play Skirk and then sacrifice Munitions Expert and Skirk to kill a Phoenix. Oh, well, there goes that. Yep, just gotta point it at their face. So Unearth can get us back Pashalik Mons. Get us back Pashalik Mons, and we can play Skirk. We are at 8. We're not quite dead in the air. Demilich doesn't actually fly. So can't shock anything in here. But is that relevant? If I get back Pashalik with Unearth, play Skirk. I can then play Gang Lieutenant, and I think I win that game. Right? I just need to save black mana. So, cast, Unearth. Play Skirk Prospector. Crack this. Mountain. So now if I black red, I get to kill a Phoenix. I should probably just kill the Amulet. Wait, is this enough to just kill them now that I've already started? So 1, 2, they'll go to 7. I'll play Gang Lieutenant. I'll have 3 goblins and a Pashalik. They'll be at 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait. 1, 2, they go to 7. I play Gang Lieutenant. I have Pashalik Mons and everything that comes with Gang Lieutenant. Stack the 2 goblins, they each do 2 damage. So that's 4. They're now at 3. I sacrifice Pashalik Mons, it will deal 2. And then the Gang Lieutenant itself will deal 1. They are dead. Gang Lieutenant and Pashalik Mons, powerful combo. One. So Pashalik Mons, when it dies, it also does damage. And I could clear their board, but hit yes and F6. Because we're YOLOing that. That's 6 damage. All right, we got there. I wouldn't say we stole game 1, but definitely helps to win game 1 against a deck like this. I don't think you want Terminate. It is the best of the sideboard cards that aren't great. Unearth obviously proved crazy there. Grist, probably not good enough. Ringleader's like not the kind of game I want to play. Expert kills stuff. Do I want to? I mean, we can take out 1 expert because we're bringing in 1 Terminate, right? Mogwai Marshal doesn't block. I don't know what kind of. I think they bring in Leyline actually themselves. I heard Spike saying that earlier, but I don't care about them bringing in Leyline of the Void if they do. I got to imagine there's a couple bolts over there, so like you can stand to side out a Harbinger. Maybe 2. And then we're just on this game plan. Like Unearth still cycles even if you get a Chalice on 1. I think this is a good plan. So much of their deck is just cantrips. Would you keep this deck or this hand? If they have removal, they're likely pointing it at Noble. And you play a Snoop. Then you play a Snoop. You need to draw land Harbinger for this hand to be good. They have to not have 2 pieces of removal, but we know they have a ton of prismatic endings. I think we mulligan this. Look for a Leyline. There you go. This is a keep. I didn't even look at the rest of the hand. You can't cast Snoop. It doesn't matter. That's how you play Modern, guys. We'll get rid of this Ringleader. And there's a couple clips of me putting Leyline on the bottom of my deck, forgetting that I have to first resolve mulligan decisions, and just being really sad about it. I would rather play Snoop on turn 2 than anything else. Not gonna play that Swamp. The Swamp makes it so that if I draw a land, I could basically any land, because every land other than the 3 caverns left in the deck make red for that terminate, but it is what it is. So, should be noted that even though they don't have a graveyard, it's not like they can't cast Phoenixes, and it's not like they can't cast Demi-Liches. So they can Manamorphose, Cantrip, cast a bunch of Demi-Liches from their hand. It's still something we have to deal with. We can't just sit around forever. Let's look at what they've been discarding, like, so we know what their hand is like. They discarded a Prismatic Ending, and that's the only card that's relevant. Check. Dan is arguing about where they're gonna have strings. I play the drums. I don't have to go to practice it because they got to get the notes right. I am concerned with notes, even though I really play a lot of instruments. Really learn stuff better. Yeah. So there's the bolt. So it's not like Snoop would have survived, but they're already on draw. Man, I really needed a. It is what it is, I guess. This is one of those hands. It's like, this is why I don't play. Guess I unearth the hierarch, right? Rather than try to draw for a land. That's fine. But this is one of those hands. This is like, I used to play mono red Skred back. I think that was the first modern deck I built myself. And like, there's these games where you resolve your lock pieces, like Blood Moon or whatever, and you kind of both just sit there looking at each other, and eventually one of you wins. And a lot of times it wasn't you, even though you already got the Blood Moon going. Okay, so what we've determined is that either don't want to cast whatever 4-drop attacker they have in their hand, or they're choosing not to. We'll see if they just don't have it in hand here, because if they had it, they would have cast it. Unless, I guess they maybe don't have another basic island. Not really sure. This has got to be a Hasty Phoenix, right? Nope. They mill me. I'm playing on Earth, so it's like kind of risky for them to mill me, but I do understand not wanting to stuff straight into exile. The Primal Urge. Alright, so they just kept a hand with a ton of removal. And we have unfortunately not hit any lands, but here we go. So that land does a couple great things for us. One, lets us cast Grist. Lets us cast Terminate. Lets us cast, obviously, everything in our hand. Other than this Leyline of the Void, but we already have one of those in play. So they just are on all removal over there. Next turn, I'm going to have that Blood Crypt, but I'm probably just playing Pashalik Mons and Blood Crypt tapped, I would think. Unless they do something wild here. First Phoenix. Let's say whatever 7 turn clock. We have a Terminate in hand. Play this tapped. I guess maybe I should. I think maybe I'm actually supposed to grab a Munitions Expert here for a few reasons. We'll make blue mana too. We're going to grab this Munitions Expert because it may force them point removal at Matron or something dumb, and we still have Terminate. So, like, they waste their turn doing that, they're not actually gonna, like, they are gonna fall behind. This could still be Manamorphose into Demi-Lich. I think the important part about Leyline in this matchup is not only that it doesn't let them, you know, nut draw you and get a whole bunch of like 3-2s with haste on 2 or something like that. It makes all of their threats one and done. So when this Arclight Phoenix dies, they have 7 total threats in their deck. And a lot of air over there. So they could have Counterspell. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this Hierarch first, because it means that like a lightning bolt pointed at something doesn't actually change anything. Then play this Munitions Expert, kill the Arclight Phoenix, and we'll hit him for 3. Or 2, excuse me. They hit us for 3. Next turn, playing Pashlik up 8. We look to be in a good position here, but it could all turn around. Would I rather play? Yeah, I'd rather play Pat. Let's make blue mana and assert some dominance. I believe we are ahead. Attack with everybody that... Oh, I guess we only need to attack with 1. We'll attack with the mate. Can actually make a difference whether you attack with 100. Well, difference whether you attack with 1 or 100. 1 or 2 here. So their path to exiling our Pashlik Mons, which is fine. Somehow that's the last basic in our deck. Exiled 1? Or we milled 1. Didn't see it the first time I looked, that's why I thought it might have been exiled. Yep, and we got there. Alright, so we're 4-0. That deck top-8'd the challenge, so it's not like that's... It is a meme deck, but it's not like it's a bad deck. We're just... Honestly, we were so well positioned to do well in that challenge. Had I not removed the ley lines from my sideboard, like, I was trophy hunting and thinking, like, you know, I've been beating all these graveyard decks without them. It'll be fine. And then we played against Yawgmoth into Esper Reanimator. So we just got railed. We got 0-2 dropped. That video is not going on YouTube. It's not worth watching. And like with 4 ley lines in your sideboard, this deck is like one of the best decks out there against that field that we saw. Living End can't beat us. I mean, could Gabriel Nassif beat us? Yeah, but I don't think Living End could. For those who don't know, Gabriel Nassif is the Hall of Famer Magic player that won the challenge this weekend with Living End. So the challenge to us is like big deal because it's like the most competitive local event you could imagine. But to him, it's step below the Pro Tour, right? Like way below. So it's not a big deal. He'll face like maybe 2 or 3 opponents in the whole day who he feels probably are like, you know, capable of making the... is my guess, but he's playing a good deck, I guess. People like Living End. I don't know. So I always talk about how I used to play Skred. My second modern deck, because Skred was a rogue deck. Liz. Even though Ponza is the nonsense. My second modern deck was Blue-Red Storm, Gift Storm. And I stopped playing that deck because it was really powerful, no doubt, but you never knew what your opponent was really going to do after the sideboard games. And obviously they had a ton of super impactful hate in the format for Gift Storm. So you would win game 1, it was a bye. Like, nobody beats Storm game 1. Nobody wants to beat Storm game 1. Nobody wants to ever play against Storm, right? So you win every game 1, and then games 2 and 3 are the hardest games you've ever played in your life, no matter what. Because it's not like they have to make good decisions. It's just like they can have like Damping Sphere, and then you have to figure out how to beat Damping Sphere plus. You know what I mean? They could have Rest in Peace, and then you have to figure out exactly how much to go into their Rest in Peace so that you can then get, like, the games are legitimately hard, game 2 and 3. So, like, yeah, it was too much for me. I decided to quit it because it wasn't like people had fun playing against it. That pretty much every FNM and always seemed matching on. Well, we have a solid Storm matchup. We don't have a good Elementals matchup. We may steal a game here, but it looks like Elementals is gonna no-sir us for the 5-0. Now, we beat them yesterday during our other 4-1. I'm already counting this one as a 4-1, which is probably bad news. But this is a keepable hand against any deck. You have the mana to combo. You have 2 of your fragile combo pieces, and you're hoping to draw the 3rd. You have, with these double Skirks, you actually have a bunch of draws at it because Matron and Skirk, I believe, gets you enough mana on the important turn. Because we're gonna turn 1 a Skirk, we're gonna turn 2 a Snoop, and then turn 3. I believe, no, you're 1 mana short unless you sack your Snoop. But we still keep it. Because it's likely not going to happen on turn 3, right? They're going to have 1 piece of removal. Gotta give them that. Not much credit. There's the Harbinger, though. Okay, so here we just have to not mess up. And that involves making sure all of your lands come into play untapped, first and foremost. I don't want to pretend that it's sewed up. Solitude, Fury, they all wreck us. Like, when I play Conspicuous Snoop here on turn 2, and they Fury Ephemerate, I just have to wait a whole turn doing nothing, because if I play another Snoop, it just rebounds, right? I guess they can't Fury. It was Solitude Ephemerate. Prismatic. Okay, so I'm going to sacrifice this not because I'm going to use the mana, but because we have Unearth that theoretically could turn black mana into red. But they used one of their pieces of removal. They're going real slow here. I don't know exactly what's going through their head over there. I guess if they have, like, Stomping Ground and Utopia Sprawl, they're trying to figure out which one to do. Or if they have, like, their version playing Arbor Elf, maybe they're wondering if they should play it into this red mana, but they would just pass the second. This is a thing. One of my favorite songs, probably. I mean, tough when you're like I don't know. When you listen to enough music and somebody asks you your favorite song, it's like a little kid question, right? You know so many songs. It's at this point in your life, like, what are you supposed to say? Other than the song you've been listening to this week the most. But this is always going to be my favorite song. Gonna play Snoop here. They have the Misty. They didn't crack it and put a Utopia okay. Well, if they, I mean, I'm just doing it because it's on top and it's showing them they're dead, so it will force their hand one way or another. I wonder if they're going to get something tapped here, or if they're going to Solitude Fetch, or Solitude Ephemerate. They're not going to Ephemerate. Okay. So there's their green mana for Risen Reef. They play the Risen Reef. Now, again, we're not safe just because they have tapped out. But I am obligated to go for it. I think it's in my contract that I have to go. Our best out here is that there's a Kiki Jiki underneath. All right, so they don't even give me the opportunity to go for it, which saves me a tiny bit of mana and embarrassment. We're gonna play Skirk. We're gonna no. What are we gonna do? So they don't. Do I kill Risen Reef? Or do I guess I can kill Risen Reef and play Conspicuous, can't I? I can Skirk, Munitions Expert, stack them both, play Snoop. That's silly. I'm not winning this resource game, right? Maybe I am, though. It seems aggressive. But they didn't, they didn't Ephemerate. They could just untap and Fury me. But I can't beat a Fury pretty much at all anyway. I think I'm gonna do this. I think this is going to, like, maybe suss out some things in their hand anyway. Are they just completely F-sick? Looks like it. Doing it. Fuck it. Do it live. No Fury, please. Please, no Fury. Please. Just don't. Just Omnath and pass. Omnath pass? Ugh. Okay. Well, that cost us a bunch. The reason I had to play the Skirk was because of this friggin' swamp. Swamp was an unfortunate piece of land. Fortunate parcel. But we're just gonna put Snoop on top here, given the way we've played the rest of this game. We are probably dead in the long game one way or another. So here's Omnath. So this is a Blood Moon matchup, by the way, and this is a mulligan to Blood Moon matchup for us. We may be dead here. We may have it. Don't know. We'll see. Please no Fury. Okay. 1 green mana is a good start. This is second off. Risen Reef into right, and you will concede to that. So just do it, and I'll go away. Do it and I'll leave. You don't even have to think about it. Okay, Solitude Ephemerate. They don't Ephemerate it, I'll still play. Because we're casting a Ringleader. But maybe I should still play either way. But as expected. Guess all I need to do is find and try again, which is like really possible. So try it, even though they just got an insane amount of mana. One more turn. Or turn never killed it. Goblin. Guess I should make. I don't really. Also have to make. Wait. Nope. Wow. Just the full whiff. Telling me that I should have conceded. Just gonna pass. They'll kill me. Or, well, if this is like not something worthwhile, I'm gonna go to game. So game 2, what I have to do, get like even more value. I don't even want to kill my ringleader. They have 6 cards. Guard dead. Drawing. Alright, so this is Blood Moon matchup, like I said. I think we want to bring every way to kill Risen Reef. I hate when they go into X. Can't compare. Don't need Mask Vandal. I think actually bringing in Chalice for Ephemerate is a good idea. Grist is good. I don't think we want to play Ringleader. I think Harbinger is like, we're gonna have a hard time keeping the Snoops on the board. I don't care about blocking. I don't think Crater Maker is gonna do anything. Half of their removal exiles instead of killing, but you know what? We are just trying to combo. So maybe do it like this. See, the second Unearth is better than the second Grist. Because I think the ideal hands are turn 2 Blood Moon into like Chalice. And then they just force a Vigor you and you're dead, but which is why some people play Void Mirror instead of Chalice. Void Mirror is a good card when you're using it as a fake Chalice. It is not good in its printed implication, I guess you could say. So Chalice on 1. Mulligan this. This hand is got a Blood Moon, but not on turn 2 and maybe not at all. I think we have to mulligan this. All hands with 1 land and spells look good because they're. Guess you keep this. It's better than going down to no cards. We have to keep a land for Blood Moon. I don't think it's really. I know you can do it, but I think it's mostly not good to just cross your fingers and hope that you can play your game-ending card. Like, get the thing that lets you play it. I mean, next turn we're gonna fetch Basic Swamp and Blood Moon him, right? Our hope. Then we'll get evoked. They'll play the thing that evokes and kills a thing. I'm already 4-0, yeah, but this is probably gonna be our last game, because unfortunately the end boss of Elementals is coming to no sir us. But yeah, the deck is decently well positioned right now, as long as you dodge Elementals, and even you can win. I mean, we won against Elementals the other day. Not impossible. Ooh, do I snoop here? I snoop here. Nah, I think it's just better to play Blood Moon. The hand based on Blood Moon, they can't evoke at instant speed on the thing that kills this. So the best they can do is fetch a basic forest, and they have Stomping Ground. Okay, so they got basic island instead of basic. They already have forest in hand. They just already have Teferi, okay? They choose to F6 with the Teferi instead of bouncing the Blood Moon. Sure. Play out Snoop. Can't ever play this Hierarch until they bounce this Teferi. We'll see. They choose to bounce Snoop. Wow, this Blood Moon, guys. We just got Omnath under Blood Moon. Didn't even bounce it. Feeling good. Chances of this Snoop surviving almost 0, but that's okay when you have an Unearth on top. I still don't know how you beat this Elementals deck. Everyone says Blood Moon, but this doesn't really seem like it. They're about to Fury me. Yup. So we actually can't Unearth and Munitions Expert because of our own Blood Moon. That is not affecting our opponent at all. Yeah, he is. He's about to crush my 5-0 as well. How's it going, Ganja? I mean, they could just bounce their own. No, they can't do that next turn. So, suppose I'm just supposed to cast this and pray. Nothing good on top. But might be underneath. Might be underneath. Yeah, the deck has felt a little bit good, but really we just played against a bunch of bad decks today. I think the one deck we played against that was at all real was Living End. And it's not a tough one for us. Although I did lose my last 5-0 to Living End because I punted it like a dummy. All right, so there's Bolt. We're just dead. There are no outs for us from this point. There goes the 5-0, but it is a 4-1. It's not so bad. The deck feels really good. The Unearths feel great. The Unearth and the Pashlik Wands won us a game. I think we would have won that game anyway, but they did win us a game, so it's good. Actually, no, that was against Phoenix, so we might not have won that game anyway. A close one. Anyway, I can definitely recommend this. It's better against the mid-rangey stuff. If you're gonna play against Elementals, maybe play a 4th Blood Moon, but you saw what they just did there to us. They just played their basics out, and that was it, and they Omnathed us. The 4 rounds today were green-white, raise the alarm. I wanted. How do I view last league? Oh, I just want to see. Still up, yeah. So we played against green-white, raise the alarm, Living End. Ooh, what was this one? This one was not a good deck. This one was Phoenix? I think this one was Phoenix. Maybe not. Green white raise the alarm. Was this blue white control? Oh no, like Bant. It was Bant like Blink-ish. It was something with spell quellers into fairies. It wasn't very good. And then was Phoenix. And then we lost pretty decidedly to Elementals. Taxi did. I like Red Eldrazi. I tried to brew that deck a while ago, and I like gave up. No, I knew it was good. I just didn't want to put the time in. I was just like, I'm not gonna play it. Why are you doing it? But I couldn't finish it. It was like not hearing, but it was just which red cards you choose to play was strange and looks so clunky. But all Eldrazi. Anyway. 3 was the old. That's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna raid somebody else. Have a couple views. Okay, who's streaming? Ganja, if you wanted to turn on your stream, I would read. Open the chests. I don't open the chests. I try not to spend any money on Magic Online. like do it by selling chests, like for my new cards. I'm not gonna be open. I'm also not a lucky person. But I'm gonna raid, definitely. Playing in the modern prelim team of Rhinos. He's a good guy. He used to play, at least. No, not today. He used to play a bunch of Panza. Been on Rhinos lately. I do think Rhinos is the best deck in the format. I think it's a way to tune it. Decks. Like, it happens to beat Ragavan, which, like, Ragavan would be the best if you weren't tuning to beat it, but that's my opinion. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. If you're not following the stream, please consider it so you get notifications when I'm live. If you're watching on YouTube where I post these VODs, consider following so that you can come hang out in the chat and talk with us. Because that's the funnest part. That's the whole reason we do it. So anyway, everybody have a good night. I'll see you next time.